about imaginary numbers as a part of a complex set of numbers. Yeah? So prepare yourselves as we are going to venture the world of complex numbers. And this is the other half of the number theory class. If you recall the number theory, numbers are divided into two, real and unreal. Real numbers are those which we call fractions, integers, decimals, rational or irrational, whole numbers, counting numbers. They are real numbers. But those numbers which are not real, or shall we say unreal, are called imaginary numbers. And these numbers has the presence of the symbol italized I. Huh? And this is because of the fact that if you press the calculator, the square root of a negative number or the fourth root of a negative number gives you a math error. So how come we have this imaginary numbers? How was this given birth? Of course, with the aid of some mathematicians and their intelligence behind it. We are just the recipient of their intelligence. We are just the users of the inventions of these mathematicians. The mathematicians invented an imaginary number as the result when you get the square root of a negative number. And this imaginary number was then what do you call that was represented by the small letter I or the small letter italized I. Any number with the small letter italized I is an imaginary number, and they can be plotted in the complex plane. Imaginary numbers are the result when you get the square root of a negative value, especially negative 1. So in the powers of I, please look at your module. You have there the square root of negative 1 is I, or even in the beginning of the module class, you have there the square root of negative 1 is I. If we're going to consider this in the powers of I class, if we have the square root of negative 1, which is I squared is equal to negative 1. Again, if you have the square root of negative 1, which is I squared then will be equal to negative 1, and I to the power of 4 is equal to positive 1. As the powers of I suggested, these values we have I to the power of 1 is I to the power of 2 is negative 1, I to the power of 3 is negative and I to the power of 4 is positive 1. It is probably because if you look at the solution to I, that is equal to the square root of negative 1, isn't it? But if you raise both sides to the power of 2, I squared is equal to, cancel the square root of the square, it is equal to negative 1. So that's where we get the I squared equals negative 1. And if you still further raise both sides to the power of 2, I squared to the power of 2 to the is equal to I to the power of 4, and negative 1 squared is equal to positive 1. Therefore, I to the power of 4 is equal to 1. Of course, these values are just simply taken from the main I solution. I to the power of 2 is negative 1 times I is negative I, and the like. What happens when we raise a value of I to the power of n, but this is found in the denominator? It is still the same class. You have 1 over negative 1 because I squared is negative 1. So 1 divided by negative 1 is still negative 1. But what if this is in the numerator? For example, I to the power of negative 2. Use now the negative integer exponent and perform the indicated operation. So still, there is a solution to every value here, whether the exponent is positive, the exponent of which is negative, or the like. What if you are going to raise the exponent of I to the power of 20? My clue here, class, is if you are going to have the exponent divisible by 4, the answer there is 1. I say, for example, I to the power of 20 can be expressed as I to the power of 4, 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 and I to the power of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And they are all multiplied by itself, like 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. Therefore, if the exponent is divisible by 4, the answer is 1. Okay? If the exponent is divisible by 4, the answer is 1. If the exponent has a remainder of 1, then the answer is I. So for example, I to the power of 20, rather 21. So since I to the power of 21 is having a remainder of 1, when we divide it by 4, then the answer is I. As in this case, we can say that I to the power of 20 times I to the power of 1. And since I to the power of 20 is 1, 1 times I is 1I or I, which is this one. If the remainder is 2, the answer is negative 1. If the remainder is 3, the answer is negative I. So just remember this uh, short explanation on the exponents or the powers of I for you to be guided on the next activity in this frame. So let's try this one. Powers of I, find the value of I to the power of 23 to the power of 2006 to the power of 37 and to the power of 824 28. What's the rule in the divisibility of 4, class? The last two digits is either divisible by 4 or ends in two zeros. Okay. So in number 1, what is the exponent of your I? The value is 23. And 23 if divided by 4 will have a remainder of 3. So therefore, number 1 is negative I. What about number 2, Harl? Do you have an answer number 2, Harl? Ay, sorry. There's already a solution. My goodness, I accidentally scrolled down my... So in number 2, I'll just give the answer hard. If you divide 2006 by 4, the remainder is 2. So if the remainder is 2, the answer is negative 1. Ulit ka diri ha. Tanawa, oh. You have this as your indicator. If it is divisible by 4 without any remainder, the answer is 1. If the remainder is 1, the answer is I. If the remainder is 2, the answer is negative 1. If the remainder is 3, the answer is negative I. 1 I, negative 1, negative I. That's the pattern. You can have that in your module. Double check if that is found in your module. So we have here I to the power of 23 with the remainder of 3. So the answer is negative 1. Number 2 with the remainder of 2. The answer is negative 1. 37 divided by 4 has a remainder of 1. So the answer is I. And 828 is divisible by 4. There's no remainder. So the answer is 1. So that's the difference. And I think in your module, you can find this activity as well. Ay, here. So number 8 and 9 lang. It's just number 8 and 9. Simplify I to the power of 925 and I to the power of 460. And that is using the powers of I, class. Let's proceed. We have, this is the number theory class. Starting off with natural numbers. Natural numbers are also called counting numbers. It starts from 1 until infinity. If you include a 0 in the natural numbers, they are called whole numbers. If you include the negative values lesser than 0, they are called integers. And then if you involve fractions and decimals, then they are called rational numbers. If you include the pi, the square root of 3, which are not perfect square numbers, they are called irrational numbers. And these, all of them are called real numbers. But outside of the zone of real numbers are the imaginary numbers, which will contain the small letter italicized I. And one of these imaginary numbers is our lesson for today, which is about complex numbers. So this is the number theory class or the complex number system. Let's try to simplify values which are in the square root under the radical sign, but the values inside the radicand rather inside are negative numbers. So start with the square root of -5. We all know for sure that if you press this in the calculator, it will give you an undefined answer or a math error. But a trick to solve problems like this using your calculators, which I hope you are not going to do, change the mode of your calculator to complex mode. When you were in the grade 8, I told you how to do it, right? How to change the mode to complex. Yeah, you can have it done in your calculator. So we have here the solution. The square root of -5 can be factored as -1 times 5. And according to the properties of radicals, the square root of -1 times 5 is just equal to the square root of -1 times the square root of 5. And since the square root of -1 is I, so therefore the square root of -5 is I square root of 5. So is it fine if I will write it in this manner? The square root of 5I. Actually, this is the right thing to do. The variable should be the last in the expression. But, class, there are some times that we are careless in the writing and we extend this radical sign until there, which will make your answer wrong. So therefore, to be safe, write the imaginary notation before the radical sign just to show that the I is not part of the radical sign. Get it? I hope that this is agreed by everyone. Although this is correctly written as the square root of 5 times I, but 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 sometimes it goes with how we write the answer. But the suggested solution will should be in this way, how we write it in this manner. I hope that you're going to follow this one, guys. So let's continue with the next example. Negative square root of -7. So if you simplify again, -7, it can be written as the square root of -1 times 7, which can be applied using the properties of radical. Square root of -1 times 7. So therefore, your answer is -I, the square root of 7. The negative I there is not the value which is from the -1, but it is from the outside of the expression, which is the sign of whatever the square root of -7 there is. So be careful with this kind of a solution, class. Let's try number 5 to be answered by Catherine this time. What about number 5, Catherine? Try.
Thirty-three, sir.
Come again.
Um,
Your answer is?
I times the square root of 33. It
Ah,
I 33 I.
33I. Okay, look at the problem, class. Thank you, Catherine, for giving me an answer. But let's analyze the answer of Catherine. The answer of Catherine is 33I. Please bear in mind that you just don't get the square root of 9, which is 3, the square root of 9, which is 3. I hope that you're not doing that one, Catherine. Grade 9 na ka, Catherine, You're not supposed to do that one. Instead, find a perfect square number, which is a factor of 99. 99 is not a perfect square number, but 100 is a perfect square number. And the square root of 100 is just 10. So something is wrong in your solution. So would you like to redeem yourself, Catherine?
Yes.
Okay, sige, give me an answer then.
3 I, sir.
3i.
Then times the square root of 11, sir.
Very good. That is then the correct answer. So please be careful, not only to Catherine, but to those who are in this frame. Though the lesson is quite easy then, but sometimes it still needs a proper solution for us to be guided on how to answer it correctly. So the solution goes like this. The square root of negative 99 can be written as the square root of negative 1 times 99. And you know very well that 99 is not a perfect square number, so we have to still factor it out. But square root of negative 1 is just equal to I. So let's look at the scenario class. 3 times 3 times 11 is the factors of 99. Or we can express 3 times 3 as 3 squared. Therefore, that is equal to 3i the square root of 99. Or if you are confused of that solution, you can further simplify it by raising the square root of 9 and then the square root of 11. Since 3 times 3 is 9. And then the square root of 9 is 3. So there you have 3i square root of 11. Or you can have it the square root of, instead of saying 9, you can have it as 3 squared. Square root of 11. So you can cancel the square root, leaving 3 outside of the radical sign. Claro? Thank you. Okay, thank you, Catherine. Let's proceed with the next example. Number 6. This is already answered a while ago. This is I squared of 7. Number 7, this time will be answered by Al. Give me the answer number 7, Al. And prepare number 8, Rafael. You will answer number 8.
Negative 6i.
Very good. The answer is negative 6i. The square root of 36 is 6. The square root of negative 1 is I. But since there's a negative prior to the radical sign, so the answer is a negative 6i. Rafael, you ready with answer number 8?
Negative 4i to the radical 10.
With the radical 10. Negative 4i with the radical 10. Why this the answer of Al is negative? Because there's a negative sign here. But there
Oh,
is no negative sign in number 6, so the answer is just I.
4i with the radical 10.
4i with the radical 10. 4i square root of 10 is the answer. Thank you, Rafael, and that is the answer. 4i square root of 10. Please be careful with the negative sign. Then again, how easy the lesson is, it will be hard as long as you are going to treat it differently the way we have it explained. The negative sign again goes with the sign in number 7 of the radical sign, of the whole value of your radical. But if the negative sign is inside of the radical, then rest assured the square root of that negative value, which is 1, is equal to I. So let's try some problems when we multiply values to your imaginary numbers. So if you multiply a real number to an imaginary number, it's just simplifying polynomials. We'll just have it as 94i. No? But what if we have this value then? 2i square root of negative 5. Let's first simplify negative 5 as it is right now. So we simplify it by um, factoring negative 5 as negative 1 times 5. So negative 5 square root is I square root of 5. 2 times 2i times I, following the rules in multiplication of polynomials, will become 2i squared. And then right now, I squared can still be simplified. In the powers of I squared is negative 1. So therefore, the answer is negative 2 square root of 5. Do not give me an answer wherein the exponent of your I is more than 1. Use the powers of I and simplify it further. We have this example, number 11. You try number 11. Let me ask. Ken Buliser, number 11. Give me an answer, number 11. If you look at your module class, I hope that I gave it as a warning. There's a little warning here. No, it's not found there. If you apply the rules in, if you apply the rules in, or the properties of radicals class, say the square root of a times the square root of b is equal to the square root of ab, right? Diba? But the square root of negative a times the square root of negative b, can you also say that it is equal to the square root of ab? As negative times negative is positive, the answer is a big no-no. There's no such thing as like that, which means that you cannot just simply simplify this expression as the square root of positive 21. Again, the square root of negative numbers, if multiplied, won't become a positive value. It is probably going to follow the properties of radicals, but if it is a complex solution, then it can't be done. You have to simplify these values before you can apply the property of radical. I think Kane Boliser is ready to give his answer.
Sir, I think it's square root of 21. 21. Yeah.
Square root of 21 is the answer. Yes, indeed, that is square root of 21. So because of the fact that the square root of 1, negative 1 is I, so we have I times I is I squared. And since I squared is negative 1, negative times negative becomes positive 1. Therefore, the answer is just simply the square root of 21. You follow? That negative 1 here, class, is the result when you simplify I squared. That negative is just the negative sign of the beginning problem or the original problem. Complex numbers. Okay, questions regarding powers of I. It's somewhere in the last part of your module. I started off with operations and radicals class. Complex numbers are written as A plus BI class. A plus BI is the representation of a complex number in standard form. Take note, it is the representation of a complex number in standard form. You will not write it as BI plus A, though it is still following the concept of commutative property of addition, but the first to be written is the real part followed by the imaginary part. In the number, complex number A plus BI, A there is the real part and BI is the imaginary part. If your answer is just going to contain negative, rather the imaginary number, then your answer is a pure imaginary number. Or if you don't have the imaginary number as your answer, then the answer is a pure real number. Say we'll have to multiply a complex number by its conjugate. All the answers there are all real numbers, a pure real number. Operations on complex numbers will start with addition and subtraction. So let's try this one, class. Let's add 7i plus 9i. Following the rules in multiplication of addition and subtraction of how do you call this, polynomials, we just have to add or subtract the coefficient and then copy the variable. At this time, the variable is the letter I, or the symbol for imaginary number. So we have 9 plus 7 is 16, so therefore the answer is 16i. If you have two complex numbers being added, you again will combine like terms. So you combine the real part to the real part, and you combine the imaginary part to the imaginary part. So we have here negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. And let's now combine the imaginary part and the imaginary part. 6i plus negative 11i, you'll get negative 5i. So there you have the answer. Addition and subtraction is just following the concept of simplifying polynomials by combining like terms. Again, combine like terms, and the like terms are the real part and the imaginary part. I mean, real to real, then imaginary to imaginary. Let's have this example. Subtracting 2 plus 3i and 4 minus 2i. Starting off with 2 and 4. So 2 plus minus 4 is negative 2, and 3i minus 2i is I. In this case, it is simplified first by distributing the negative sign. Be careful because you might only subtract 2 and 4, but you'll have 3 plus 2 makes it 5. Diba? This is the most common mistake committed by many students. So we have to simplify first the expression. No problem with addition because positive times negative is still negative. But here, you have negative 4 and negative 2. So combine 2 and negative 4, we have negative 2. 3 and negative 2 is positive 1. So that is addition and subtraction of polynomials, rather complex numbers class. Question? Clarification for addition and subtraction. Silence means a no. So let's proceed with multiplication and division of complex numbers. Let's start with the most simple one. 3i times 4i. Following the rules in the integer exponents as well, and also multiplying the coefficients normally. So we have 3 times 4 is 12, and I times I is I squared. And according to the rule in the powers of I squared is negative 1. So therefore, 12 times negative 1 is negative 12. Negative 7i to the power of 2 means negative 7 times negative 7. And I times I. So we have 7 squared is 49. I squared is negative 1. So we have now negative 49. Trixley, number 3. Negative 7i times 12i. Prepare. Alex, you will answer number 4, Alex. Negative 11i squared.
84, sir.
Your answer is 84. Positive, negative?
Positive, sir.
Very good. So the answer is 84 positive. It is because if you multiply negative 7 and 12, that is negative 84. I squared is negative 1. So therefore, the answer is positive 84. Good job, Trixley. How about Alex? Number 11, number 4.
121 ay negative 121 I, sir.
Nai.
Ay no I na rin, sir.
No I or nai? What is it talaga?
Negative 21 ay 121.
Okay. Negative 121 is the correct answer. So let's show the solution then. Negative 11 squared is positive 121, but I squared is negative 1. So therefore, the answer is negative 121. Please be careful with problems like these, class. What you'll have to do is just simply to show the solution. To show to yourself, not to Sir Jet, of course. Show yourself the solution so that you'll be guided. But if you are already a master of it, you can just multiply it in your mind and then simplify it without without showing a solution then. What about multiplication of a binomial to a binomial? This time we'll follow the FOIL method. Okay, so we have here 7 times 4 is 28. 4 times 2i is 8i. This is FOIL method. First terms, outer terms, then inner terms this time. 3i times 7 is 21i. And 3i times 2i is 6i squared. This is FOIL method again. I hope that you remember FOIL method. Nah. So this FOIL method ends up with a 4-term expression, but notice the 2 terms in the middle, 8i and 21i are like terms. Therefore, we can combine like terms. So there you go. The solution 8 plus 21 is 29. Also, I squared can still be simplified as negative 1. So therefore, this is negative 6. Right? So to show the solution, this is now 28 plus 29i, the result of adding 21i and 8i. And then simplify 6i squared by multiplying 6 by negative 1, since I squared is negative 1. and then combine it to 28. Therefore, your final answer is 22 plus 29i. You have here the step-by-step process in solving problems like these, and I hope you can do this solution to your module as well. Show it in a step-by-step process so that you'll be guided on how to do the solution and get yourself a final answer. What about number 6? Example number 6, Bam the toy. I want you to answer this one, Bam. 2 minus I and 3 plus I, 3 plus 10i, we multiply it. If you are already able to understand the lesson class, you can actually start answering your module right now. If you are not being called by Sir Jet to participate. No? You can start working with your module to maximize the time. Yes, Bem is ready for the answer.
16 plus 17i, sir.
16 plus 17i. Okay, let's try to check if the answer of Bem is correct. 16 plus 17i, correct me if I'm wrong, Bem. 16 plus 17i. So let's start with multiplying the first term, the inner term, the outer term, and the last. So we have 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 10 is 20. Negative I times 3 is negative 3i. Negative I times 10i is negative 10i squared. Simplify the 2 terms in the middle. 20 minus 3 is 17i. Then 10i squared can be simplified as 10 times negative 1, which is positive 10. Therefore, the answer is 16 plus 17i as the answer suggested by Bam Datoy. Thank you, Bam. Your answer is correct. Clarifications? If you have a question, then unmute yourself and then raise your concern. While we proceed with the next example to be answered by Ken Robertson. 5 plus 7i multiplied by 5 minus 7i. For those who are not being called, you can also participate by typing your answers in the chat box. Let's see if your answer is the same with the answers to those who are being called.
74, sir.
74, exactly 74, Ken.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And that's also the same answer from Harl and from Bem Datoy. Notice the given class. What can you conclude of the given before we reveal the answer? How can you associate the first binomial to the second binomial? They are dots, according to Ken Buleser. The difference of two squares. They are conjugates. Yeah? They are factors of the dots, according to Ken Buleser. They are factors of the difference of two squares. I did mention before arriving at this frame that the factors of the difference of two squares, which are conjugates, if you multiply complex conjugates, it will end with a pure real number. And this is the explanation to the point that I just raised a while ago. So 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times negative 7i is negative 35i. 7i times 5 is positive 35i. And 7i times negative 7i is negative 49i squared. Simplify it further by combining 35i and negative 35i. You'll get a 0. So you're left with 49i squared. I squared is equal to negative 1. So we have now 49 plus 25 is 74. The two values class 5 plus 7i and 5 minus 7i are called complex conjugates. They are conjugates of complex numbers. And if you multiply complex conjugates, the result is a pure real number. How are you going to show the standard form of 74 under the complex number? Al, you try Al. What is the standard form of 74 in a complex number notation?
I have no idea how to do the standards, sir.
Standard form is A plus BI.
IA plus BI.
So what is the standard form of 74 in the complex number notation? It is
I don't know pa, sir.
sige, sige. So how about Catherine? What do you think so will be the standard form of 74? The standard form of 74 class is 74 plus 0i. Wherein the imaginary number is a 0. But there's no need to write the imaginary number which is a 0 value since this is just being cancelled out, leaving the answer pure real number. But the standard form is 74 plus 0i. Sir, can we just write 74? Yes. Of course, there's no need to write 0 if that is 0 to begin with. Also, class, if your answer is 0 plus 24i, your answer will just be 24i instead of 0 plus 24i. This time around, this is a pure imaginary number. Okay? It's a pure imaginary number. And then we have here complex conjugates. That is the continuation of the given in number 7. Complex conjugate starts off with a plus bi and a minus bi, or a minus bi and a plus bi. What is being, which of the two values has to have the sign being changed? The sign which is being changed is on the imaginary part. You need not to change the sign of the real part. So if, for example, 3 plus 4i, the complex conjugate of 3 plus 4i is 3 minus 4i. The complex conjugate of 4 minus 7i is, a negative 4 minus 7i is negative 4 plus 7i. Notice, ang first term ang second term ra kung i-change, which is the imaginary part. Hello? So what is the complex conjugate of 5i? Kin, sir.
Wait, sir, wait, sir.
Again, to find the complex conjugate, we just have to change the sign of the imaginary part. So in number 10, what is the complex conjugate of 5i?
Negative 5i, sir.
Very good, negative 5i. Because to begin with, how to write it is 0 plus 5i, right? So therefore, the complex conjugate is 0 minus 5i, or negative 5i. But what about number 11, 6 class? What is the complex conjugate of 6? Jaya.
It's still the same, sir.
Very good. It's still the same because the real value in standard form of 6 is 6 plus 0i. And then the complex conjugate there is 6 minus 0i. So just the same as 6. Very good. And I think complex conjugate is being understood. So now we apply that in division of complex numbers, also known as rationalizing complex numbers. So in division of complex numbers, we'll just have to multiply both numerator and the denominator by the complex conjugate of your denominator. Again, multiply the numerator and the denominator by the complex conjugate of your denominator. Your denominator is 1 minus I, so the complex conjugate there is 1 plus I. The numerator, you can just apply FOIL method. The denominator, you can apply FOIL method. Or you can apply whatever you like, depending on how you need it best in the solution. So when we apply FOIL method to the numerator and to the denominator, you'll end up with these values: negative 5, negative 5i, 9i, and 9i squared. So as with the denominator as well, 1 minus I plus I minus I squared. Simplify the numerator and the denominator by combining like terms. So let's combine 5 negative and 9i squared. Since 9i squared becomes negative 9 because of the fact that I squared is negative 1. So negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. Combine it to 5 negative so that we have negative 14. Combine negative 5 and 9, we have positive 4. Cancel. This becomes negative 1, right? So we have here the continuation of the solution. Since the denominator is having the expression I squared, and I squared is equal to negative 1, negative 1 times negative becomes positive 1, so the denominator becomes positive 2. Take note, grade 9 final answer should be in standard form. And the final answer is negative 7 plus 2i. How did we come up with negative 7 plus 2i? We divided the numerator by the denominator. So negative 14 by 2 is 7. Rather, negative 7. Positive 4 divided by 2 is positive 2i. In case that the denominator cannot divide the numerator, for example, your numerator is negative 5 plus 4i over 2. So your answer then is a fraction. So negative 5 halves plus 2i. All answers should be expressed in standard form. Well, of course, if you wish to box your final answer until here, that is considered. But if possible, write your answer in standard form, a plus bi. Sir, can we just have the answer until here? If it cannot be simplified, yes. But since this can be simplified still, so that is not a correct answer. But this can't be simplified anymore because 5 is not divisible by 2. So you can distribute the denominator or you can end it here. But the best answer again is the value of your expression in standard form. Last example to be participated by everyone. And if you do have an answer, chat it in the chat box. You have 1 minute to do this one. The denominator is 3 plus 5i. So the complex conjugate of 3 plus 5i is 3 minus 5i. You have now the complex conjugate. It's your job to simplify the numerator by FOIL method and the denominator by FOIL method. And then if you do have an answer, chat it in the chat box. We have an answer from Kent Buliser. We're still waiting for the answers of the others. Use the front slash for your fraction bar. Separate your real part to the imaginary part, which means that you are going to show your answer in standard form. So far, Kent gave me the answer. The answer of Kent is also the same answer with Ken Robertson. So probably this is the correct answer. But I'm not sure still. I am not solving in my part here. But the answer is already in the module itself or in the presentation. Al also has the same answer, but please be careful, Al. You're giving me a single expression. You have to make sure that your answer is in standard form. But yes, your answer is the same with the answer of the first two. Bem, Trixley, Rafael, Catherine. Those are turning on their cameras and still going to wait for your answers. Jaya as well. Jaya is not turning. And I think it's already time to reveal the answer. So double check if your answers are correct from the solution here, class. So we have here the numerator, simplify the numerator by FOIL method. Jaya has the same answer with the first three. So we have 6 is the result of 2 times 3. 2 times 5 is negative 10i. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9i. And negative 3 times negative 5i is positive 15i squared. So as with the denominator, use FOIL method. Simplify the numerator. Negative 15 times negative 1 is negative 15 plus 6 is negative 9. At negative 10 minus 9 is negative 19i, and then the denominator, simplify it as well. So we come to the denominator now. I squared is negative 1. Combined with negative 25 is positive 25. So your denominator is 34. And you can end this with the answer, or you can end it with the standard form, which I personally break my own rule, right? I did not have this stated in standard form. But still, the final answers, I'll be expecting everyone to express them in standard form. Okay. The last two chats were from Jaya and Trixley, and they do have the same answer as the others. So I hope that you understand our lesson for today, which is about complex numbers. Review again the lesson as I'm going to post this video. I hope I can find time to upload this in YouTube. Or if not, you can secure your old notebook in trigonometry and review the lessons that we had there. Probably you will see the similarity of our activity in Edmodo from the activities in your notebook. Questions? We'll see each other on Thursday for the checking of your module then, class. That would be all for today. Goodbye, grade 9. Thank you and goodbye.